Welcome back, everyone, to the Real Double Dose channel. This is your host, Lex, coming to you with love straight from the heart, where the talk is real and the vibe is always live. Thank you for being on here, and for any show requests or feedback, as always, you can reach us at Real Double Dose channel at yandex.com. That's yandex.com, as well as checking out our blog spot at realdoubledosechannel.blogspot.com. That's .blogspot.com, where you can check out wonderful links and disclaimers, are links to the books and so much more in the About Me section at the bottom of the blogspot itself, and multiple pages, 100 plus of wonderful insights, tips, and so much more you can check out, as well as our partnerships, sponsorings that we have with GiveMeAllThat.com. That will be having its grand opening for 2019 down the line here, and as well as just different things that will utilize the skills of our life. And also you can check us out on our many multiple platforms, and that's TuneIn, Spreaker.com, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, SoundCloud.com, and so many more, and as well as RDDC Lex Team / that's on Facebook. You can find those links on SoundCloud or at the .blogspot. So you got that. I almost said it without a hinge. You know how it is, speaking all that, and I try to get it under a minute and a half, just so it's not too much blunder during the whole process of our unfolding mechanisms on this wonderful, juicy, licious broadcast show. The enlightenment of wonderfulness with swag to add to the mix. I'm just saying, no shade, yes. So I wanted to have this in reference to my beautiful little miniaturette queen, my mother. I asked her thoughts on it. I had different ones lined up of thought process forms that I like to present to it, and we kind of unfold it obviously as we go on in these broadcast stories. Not really scripted, but thought of in a mannerism as speaking about, a conversation. But she was talking to me about the stuff that's been really going through, and it's not just about my life, it's about the lives that we all have gone through, and the ones that permeate around me more personally as well, about storms. And she was saying, you know what, baby, through the storm, hold your head up high. So we're going to dedicate this one to our storms. And thank you, Mom, for the inspiration for the title and subject of breaking that analogy down with all your beautiful wisdom, my little mommy chews. So that is hashtag through the storm, or storms. It could be plural. We got it. So, it's not to rehash what's going on with our lives, or the things we've been through, but I would like to touch base on that and say, there's so many things that are going through that have been shared with me to elaborate on in some way. I don't like to mention names, sometimes not states or areas, because it's for privacy purposes, regardless if they want to expose that or not. You never know. I mean, we have hundreds of people who listen per day, and there's thousands upon thousands who listens per week, and I'm pretty sure by now it's at least past the millions. So, and even so, it's still hit at least a few million, because 1 equals 1 million. So even if there's 100,000 of you that have listened, you've permeated this through your energy field somehow. So yeah, congratulations to all of us. We've probably reached about a good million a piece by now. Definitely. So I wanted to put that up there. No shade on that one. I just wanted to say that one of my good kind of associates, friends, colleagues, she's been dealing with so many things that has to go down with, her not being able to maintain the bills, her having a significant other that doesn't seem to keep consistent to work. And this is a lot of people's conversation, to where she can't do it. Vice versa. At the same time, I have one of my friends, Jim. He's doing so much to where he feels like he just can't make it. He keeps getting sick every week. The bills are piling up. Things are happening. Another person I know has a child that just seems to just run crazy and rampant and doesn't understand what they're doing as a teenager and making horrible mistakes, and they might be a possible teen pregnancy going on here. It's different levels of through the storms, and the storms continue to come on, and there's no way that they're ever going to just completely stop. Even if it's a plugged toilet stool, okay, it's going to be a storm that comes in some miniature form or another. Because I believe it, I don't know, I think it was TD Jakes, but he had said something some time ago that I heard, and it was saying if you're not going through a storm, you're going to a storm, or you're coming out of a storm. So even if you're going through a storm, or if you're going to a storm, in some way you're coming out of one, you're going into one, or you're just getting through one. So no matter what, that's life's learning lessons and life steps and curves that we make, and that's what gives us understanding. We learn more of the mistakes or the halves, and excuse me if this microphone is getting too adjusted to the volume. It's free-handed, like I always say, just like it's a slice of everyday life, and I don't mean to be too loud. But back to the matter at hand. It comes down to no matter what's going on in our life, things will always arise, and we can just always be upset about it or mad, but we learn more in that time frame than any amount of sitting in school. Yeah, arithmetic and reading and writing and educational purposes. Obviously the history books are written completely out of sinking into the truth of what is and what we really need to know as far as what the real book should be in schools. But let's just leave that for another conversation. But I'm just saying, I mean, at the end of the day, you learn in life by the mistakes and the choices that we make. It isn't a manual, so you do everything perfectly. Even a perfect, quote, software fixing a car or fixing something will never be completely perfect. Even a person assembling something just the way it is, it still has a return policy. That's why they have 30-day, 60-day, 90-day returns, because everything is not going to be perfect. It's always going to be defective. But it's the magnitude of how we're working through that. Because if you think about it this way, we're going through a storm. We're still going through it, doing karate chops and ninja blocks and dealing with all kinds of stuff coming at us, whether it be another doctor's appointment coming up and you have to extend your stay and figure out how to pay the hotel bill to stay in this place, and the commuting and the travel, missing work and not knowing what to do with your life. Not hearing the diagnosis of the doctor just irritates you more. Okay, whether it be you're sitting here dealing with an infidelity relationship and you love this person and for some reason you just can't see yourself without this person, but you want to make it work because this person really is worth it to you and they just have issues, but at the same time it's creating such a big pull between you two because all you feel is this animosity and hurt and anger that you're trying to quickly and quietly bury under a rug that's so piled up with a heap of junk and dust that eventually the wind's going to blow it over. True. Facts. Okay, no matter what it is, even if it's a point where you're working 50, 60 plus hours a week and you're a full-time parent or you have another full-time job or full-time school, eventually your body's going to put you through a storm to where it's going to force you to sleep and you're going to be lagging on your homework and lagging on your job and, you know, having delusional episodes behind the wheel or how you're getting to work and hurt yourself somehow, mentally, physically, emotionally, something, God forbid. Everything has a mechanism of a storm included in it. Whether you run out of laundry detergent or whether you run out of toothpaste. That could be huge storms for people. I mean, I know I get anxiety sometimes if I forget tomatoes at the store. Or if they don't have something on the aisle, I'm like, oh my gosh. It feels like a headache sometimes. I'm like, okay, now I got to come back up here next week and check, like go through traffic, park the car, get out. Bones are aching from how cold it is out there since, you know, the freaking negative 0 degrees at this point will definitely show you who's boss. I don't care how old you are. And you would think I would be used to it after all these years, but it just gets a little bit extra stormy. So, yeah, I just wanted to say, what are we doing, though? Let's look at this. What are we doing to get through these storms? I mean, really collectively think. If we're going into one, it's not for us to run around like psychos and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. We're going into a storm. I know something's going to come up. Don't borrow trouble. As my mother and my grandma said, do not borrow trouble. You know, it's the same thing the Bible says. Don't borrow any trouble because tomorrow's never promised. And don't think about the things of tomorrow that are not here today. It's hard for us to do that because we're already getting pre-prepped for what's about to happen the next day, which gives us kind of motivation to kind of, quote, get up to some point. But we're still anticipating, oh, what's going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen tomorrow? Tomorrow's not here yet. We're right now. This is the present and the future where we're in. So, okay, you're just going through a storm. You feel exhausted and you're thinking, man, I hope this doesn't happen again. or you're preparing yourself to say, if this happens again, I'll be prepared for it. And this won't happen again, because when I go through a storm, or if I've got done through a storm, you're already preparing yourself. But you're still letting yourself know, okay, this is one of many storms that have come through my life. It's assessed now. I'm getting through it. And when it's finished, whatever storm may come, I'm going to address it in the ways where it'll work best in favor for me, instead of resisting the things that I should have known in order not to go through the storm to begin with, right? So we did the to a storm. If you're going into one, anticipation of what tomorrow may bring or the things may bring. Through a storm, you're thinking of how you assess it and what's going through to make sure you can be preventable of at least that storm from happening. And, we have the whole mechanisms that go with that. So the third one is within the storm. So you're saying, man, I just went through it. I understood that concept. I don't want to go to another one that might come up down the line, because I'm trying to figure out how I went through it in the first place. But I'm in the middle of the storm right now. I'm in the middle of not being able to pay my bills. I'm in the pit of the belly of the lion, so to say, to where I have to figure out how to pay my car payment. I have to figure out how to feed this orphanage full of kids. I have to figure out how to, go ahead and have my project work so I can help families. I have to figure out how to get my company up and running so I can help my employees keep their jobs. I have to figure out how to do these things, because I know they were given to me by the greatest thing of all creation, the Creator, to finish and accomplish. But then we twiddle our thumbs and think, well, we get a little angry sometimes and say, well, we wouldn't be going through this if God, or the Creator, or the Great Spirit, or the infinite source, the ether, and the embodiment of all things would just give me what I needed so I could complete my task. If he would just give me, or they would just give me multiple millions of dollars so I could have it finished. And trust me, I go through this a lot, where I'm like, man, what is going on here? Like, boom, just snap. You don't even have to blink your eyes twice and it'll be here. Money and time is not something that the Creator has to ever think about. Money doesn't exist pretty much on this earth either, but it's our way of currency, of understanding the value of, quote, things. Time doesn't exist to the Creator of infinite source either, because there's no such thing as time in that realm. We are the ones who measure time because of the life expectancies and expansions we were given in a physical form. But ultimately, you think about though, but if we just had every thought, I don't know if it was Jim Carrey or who has said that. I hear so many different philosophies and different things sometimes in the past, but they were saying, excuse me, they were saying that when it comes down to having that given, if you were just to have a single thought and it would manifest right there, whether it be bad or good or bad, that would be scary. Just imagine that. If you had a bad thought run through your head at that very moment and it would manifest a minute later, just think about that. So how could it, right? Just the same way, if we focus on negative, we get negative, right? So if we focus on positive, we get positive. Just imagine, you say, man, if I thought about $10 million right now, that would be great. But what if you were sitting there laying back and your mind just completely drifted to a scenario where someone's coming in and hijacking you or something, and it happened a minute later? Not millions of dollars in the world couldn't prepare you for a whole bunch of snipers happening. I'm just saying. So it has to be a balance to this, and the work and the progress that it happens reaps the harvest. It's the same thing that I hear a lot of farmers say, it's hard work. We love going out there. We love planting our fields and seeing the corn stalks or the wheat or the different kind of vegetables grow, the different things that happen, the love and the passion they put into toiling and going through the labor of that. But the outcome, when we hear organic or farm fresh, or just the feeling of people being more in touch and in tune on a more hand-based basis, we seem to pay more for that. We respect it more, understand, than just a big processing machine that goes by, because we know intimacy has been given from that person's time, energy, and love into those things. So ultimately, that wasn't just, quote, handed to them. Now, they planted all, regardless of the machine planted them or not, or organic style, whatever it might be, those little seeds all got planted. And they all bloomed, and the harvest was there. It might not be a huge harvest, but it's enough to be sustainable. So if everything is handed to us that we want, there's no work in the progress, and we'll feel like spoiled kids ultimately. Like, oh, life would be, no, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be all la-di-da-di-da because then we would have a reason to say we're in the storm now because everything's handed to us and we can't work for it. We can't achieve goals. We don't have processes. That's why they have school. That's why they have certifications. Now the student loans and the craziness that has to do with going to $60,000 for some school that, you know, basically it's not going to really go. It doesn't even have the subjects. You know, I'm just no shade on this, but I've checked out business management stuff, business management courses and stuff for some of my friends, and actually helped them out with it. And hearing about Greek mythology and the Olympians and just random conversations about questions that have nothing to do with maintaining a business at all, it just blows my mind. I'm not going to put the schools out there that they were going to, but it's a bunch of, you know, junk thrown in there. So it seems like it's a big, huge course that you're paying $2,000 to $3,000 a semester for, or per month, or whatever. But I'm saying life will teach you those lessons. So regardless if you're going through a storm, to a storm, or you're in a storm, just remember there's always a key element to that. You're always going to learn something from that, no matter how deep it is or how grave it is. And if it's to the point where it is something to do with a life or death situation, get a journal and write down what you can in those notes, or put a video up and at least let people know that's what it is for the time being. You don't know the outcome. If you've learned through this journey or through the storm, it's still a journey, then you can say, man, this is what my story has been, and this is what I found, and maybe even potentially, you know, create something out there where people can learn from that aspect maybe they're going through, and you can help someone else through that storm, or talk to your children or talk to someone else about it. It might help them out along the way. And if you're going into a storm, you can figure out all aspects without driving yourself nuts as to, man, I'm going to make sure whatever happens next, I'm going to calculate my time the way I need to be, and I'm going to be very prayerful in meditation and understanding to say, hey, this is not going to be forever. You've been through a lot worse and a lot more than what you're going through. And even if it's not, just know, hey, there's only a couple outcomes that can happen, and either way, I'm going to deal with it the right way. And that is not fretting over it, but just going step by step and letting the universal powers take its time into making those things right and anew. So yeah, you get what I'm saying. So hashtag, you know, it's all about love and life. And hashtag it's all about you and I, we, us, and our lives and the paths that we take. But for real, hashtag through the storms. Okay, that's what it is. So be the change, feel the passion, embrace the power of the spirit, and you'll be just amazingly fine. And I know that without a shadow of a doubt. And thank you, and I appreciate you. We love you, definitely. For all those who are tuning in from all over the world, Argentina and beyond, San Jose and beyond, Switzerland and beyond, Germany, Russia, China, or Beijing, different ones that we've seen. I'm trying to name different parts of India, New Delhi, Zimbabwe, like United States, of course. Different, just I can't even name them all right now, but I'm trying to get this to where it's not too crazy over the time. But we love you. We thank you for just even pushing that play and hearing what's going on. Thank you for signing up for the winter hashtag transformation challenge and the hashtag RDDC 2018 Inspire challenge that was going on before everything took place. So just remember, you know, even though you're going within these elements, there's always something gained from it, and it doesn't have to be a negative stipulation. It's a lesson learned, a valuable lesson to be passed on and taught to another to save a life or to enhance a life and enrich yours, and also to know what the future may hold if that path ever happens again, and how to be more seasoned if anything else may occur. So yeah, just breathe and relax. We'll get through this. We will. So anything else, check us out at Real Double Dose channel at yandex.com. That's yandex.com, and as well as realdoubledosechannel.blogspot.com. That's realdoubledosechannel.blogspot.com. You're amazing. You're wonderful. Awesomely you. Check us out. Stay tuned in, and we'll be back with you very, 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 very soon.